The album version, is it?
It is. Okay.
Are we on?
We're back.
All right.
We're here.
I'll do my DJ thing just a sec.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Wow, awesome.
Isn't that smooth, huh?
Wow.
Oh,
That
yeah.
is cool. Okay. Welcome back, everybody. First of all, I'm going to make a sound check here. I'm trying something new here, a new mic and no headset. So we're going to see if this works out tonight. If there's any issue with volume, please let me know, or let me guys know.
What? Can't hear you, Chris.
Exactly.
Oh, what?
Okay. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to our Sunday night offering of astronomy outreach for November the 27th. Oh, well, that's the wrong date. That's the wrong date. December. Wow. Let's go December the 11th. There we go. The Sunday night astronomy show. Well, not that I'm reading the notes.
How many fingers do you see?
Okay, sounds good. Everybody says great.
How many fingers you see?
Yeah. Okay, my name is Chris Kerwin. I'm the creator and admin of the social media channels known as Astronomy by the Bay, and I'm an amateur astronomer and a member of the Royal Astronomical Society of Canada, along with these guys.
Yay!
Hey, first of all, I'd like to welcome back our regular co-host and fellow RAS member, Mr. Mike Powell from the PFO Observatory here in St. John. Hey!
Hey!
Hey! And I'd like to introduce our other regular co-host and fellow RAS member, Mr. Paul Owen from the Moon Shadow Observatory here in beautiful Hampton.
I'm only going to be here a short time. I got to get the yoga class. So.
Okay, and also tonight we're joined by our fellow RAS member, Mr. Kurt Nason. Welcome to the program, Kurt. Hey. All right, so on tonight's episode of the Sunday Night Astronomy Show, now standing underneath the stars and looking up at all that looks back at us can seem overwhelming sometimes. Now you have good reason to feel that way. There is a lot to take in, but what if we could break up the sky into smaller chunks? Would that help? Well, we thought it might be useful, so we've invited our special guest, Kurt Nason, to offer us a Constellation of the Month talk going forward now.
Yes.
Kurt is a longtime member of the Royal Astronomical Society of Canada, has been an integral part of its operation in our province over many years now. Kurt was our mentor, three of us. Don't know if he taught us much, but you know, we try.
He tried.
He's also been a longtime member of the St. John Astronomy Club, served several roles in both groups, and has been a mentor to most of us in the hobby locally. He's also very active in astronomy outreach and recently received the distinguished honor of having an asteroid carry his name. So tonight, Kurt will be discussing all things Orion, that big winter constellation that dominates our winter evening sky. Welcome to the show, Kurt. It's a pleasure to have you with us. Also this evening, Mike will be bringing back Vinyl Bud for another fine binocular target of the week. And he'll have, we're going to be doing the lunar challenge. I have all your entries right here. Over the last number of weeks, we've asked for entries for certain targets on the moon. And you've provided them to me. I've captured your names. We're going to make a draw tonight for a new book, which is this one right here, 50 Things to See on the Moon. We'll have it delivered to your door.
Perfect.
There, yeah. And Paul's going to be offering us another interesting Rosanna's Fun Facts tonight. I'll also have a look at what's up this week, including what's coming up this special event. Paul's also going to be offering us an astrophotography tip of the week, and I'll have all of your wonderful photos to share as well. So this is a family-friendly interactive live broadcast. So for those of you joining us from my YouTube channel or my Facebook page, we are happy to try and answer all of your questions here in real time as well. Kurt is happy to answer all of your questions here. And of course, I'd like to welcome all those who have been joining us through the local Rogers TV network. Thank you for your support. Okay, so let's get started then with tonight's program and a look at our favorite winter constellation, Orion. Kurt, she's over here.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to this one.
There we go.
Here we go.
Hello, Orion, my old friend. I've come to gaze at you again. Orion's been my friend for about 60 years now. It was back when I was playing Pee Wee hockey in Macadam. Evening class or evening game, you walk home. Of course, it was mild and freezing weather and wasn't quite all uphill, but there was one steep one there. And Orion would be high in the south, leading me on the way because I lived on the south side of the town. Ever since that time, I've been fascinated by the constellations, and particularly Orion. I remember as a kid seeing in books the pictures of Orion and Taurus like that. And that picture has stuck with me for years. And so I'm going to talk tonight a bit about the mythology of it, a few things to look at in there, and maybe how other people have seen Orion in different parts of the world. And so Orion was the son of Neptune, of Poseidon. I'll talk Greek here instead of Latin. He was the son of Poseidon, the god of the sea, and they say he was tall, dark, and handsome, so tall he was a giant. He could walk through the seas there, the water would only be up, maybe up to his waist or so. And there are different stories in mythology. Orion goes back, I've read one place where Orion was first discovered or made up maybe 6,000 years ago. Another one said maybe 4,000 years ago. So it's been around a long time, a lot longer than I've been around. And of course, a mythology with all these, and over the years, well, over the millennia, even the stories change a bit. So one story has Orion being in love with one of the seven sisters in here. I think it was Merope. And being a tall giant like that, and you see him carrying a club around, they were afraid of him, Merope and her sisters. So they called to Zeus to get him to keep Orion away from them. So Zeus made the big boulder between Orion and the seven sisters to keep them safe. And I guess they're happily ever after. Some other stories on him. He was in love. Well, actually, he and Artemis were in love with each other. But Artemis, her brother, Apollo, twin brother actually, he didn't like Orion at all. And so one time he'd seen Orion out hunting somewhere. Orion was a mighty hunter. He'd seen him out in the woods, and there's some scrub brush out there. And he was there with his sister Artemis. And he said, "Can you see that hare out there rushing around in the bushes?" And she probably couldn't see it, but he said, "I bet you can't hit that with an arrow." So she took her arrow out and shot and to hit Orion in the eye and blinded him. And that's when you look at Orion over in here, get all these bright stars, but here's his head. And the star in here, Maesa, it's a lot dimmer than the other stars. So they say he got blinded by that shot in the eye. Another part of the story with this, getting with Artemis, there's also Eos, the goddess of dawn, and she was in love with Orion as well. So we had that rivalry between the two goddesses. And as Orion is going through the sky at night and starting to set there, it's in the morning, then Eos, the goddess of dawn, she'd try to hold him back, didn't want him to set. So, she didn't want to go without him for any longer than she could. But eventually he had to set. Stars, very bright stars that were dimming, so it looks like it takes him a lot longer to set because the stars are so bright. Once he does set, she would cry, and her tears would make the dew on the grass there in the morning. Isn't this all spectacular stuff? And when you look at the pictures like this one is from Stellarium. And this one is based somewhat on one of the 17th century drawings. There were three cartographers, celestial cartographers during that century that made great star maps. And looking at this, you wonder, is this actually Orion or is this Hercules? Because you think what Hercules does, Hercules always carried a club. Hercules, as his first labor, killed the lion of Nemea and cut his skin off with using the lion's claws. The skin is pretty much impenetrable except by its claws. So here's Orion with the lion skin for a shield. And also Hercules was known as the kneeler before it became Hercules. And there's Orion down on one knee there. So somewhere along the way, I think there was a little mix up between those two guys. And we look over here, beautiful picture of the Orion constellation. And he was a hunter, so you'd expect that to be a bow, but most of the drawings that go back a long, long time ago have him holding that lion skin there. And we got the red giant star here, Betelgeuse. It's the 10th brightest star in the sky. Rigel down here, the 7th brightest star in the sky. Up here at Bellatrix, that means female warrior. You ladies out there, you've got the star to look up to there. Down here is Saiph, and then we got Almatak on the Lamb, and Mentaka up here in the belt. Then you got the sword down below here. So here's some of those pictures back there. This one is by John Flamsteed, English astronomer. This one looks a lot like the one there in Stellarium, so it was based on that one. Johann Bayer, early 1600s as well. He did this one. And Johannes Hevelius was a little bit later in that century. And this was his version of Orion here. So he didn't have a lion skin, he had an actual shield, but he still has a club. Now notice these two are pointing in the wrong direction, or opposite direction. But a lot of the star maps back then, centuries ago, were made from the god's viewpoint. They were looking down on the sky from up in Godland.
Oh,
So everybody was reversed like that. I want to do some observing around here. There's a lot of great things to see, particularly with binoculars and some with great with the telescope. And everybody goes right to the Orion Nebula first. Just below there, we have a star cluster, NGC 1980, and a lot of double stars in there. So that's worth a binocular view there. And you go to the Orion Nebula. I won't talk much about this because it's been covered many times before. But in there, you've got the trapezium. You pick those 4 bright stars up with a telescope. If you get a steady sky and a good-sized telescope, at least maybe a 6 or 8 inch, there are 2 other stars in there. And you need a nice steady sky to pick them up. I saw them maybe 15 years ago, actually not too far from Paul's place in Hampton at Dutch Point Park. But what gets overlooked here, if everybody's looking at an M42, you're looking at something, but maybe not realizing it. This little bit up in here, it's separated from M42 by this dust lane. This is M43. It's the same part of the same nebula, but it's offset a bit by that dust lane. So Messier gave it an extra spot in his catalog. So it's M43. Now, if you move up, you come to this, and this is a much photographed area. I imagine Paul's imaged that more than once. So you've got a bunch of stars down here, but in here, you've got 3 reflection nebula, NGC 1973, 1975, and 1977. And they're separated by this dark area in here. And this has picked up the name of the Running Man Nebula. I've been trying to figure out where they came from. I remember about maybe 15 years ago or so in Astronomy magazine, they had a name the nebula contest. They had 10 nebulae in there that apparently didn't have a proper name yet. And this was one of them. And when I looked at it, it took me a few seconds that I know exactly what that is. And it wasn't Running Man. And I'll show you briefly here what I thought it was. By taking another look here, down here you got these stars here. Up here is the NGC 1981, another star cluster. So this to me looks like a leg up here, there's the body, there's a head, there's an arm coming back, then at the elbow, and an arm coming out here. Does this not look like somebody out for a jog?
Oh, yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Well, I call that the Running Man cluster. Or even better, that makes almost perfect resemblance of the walk sign that you see at crosswalks.
Yes, sir.
That same guy there. So what did I see down here? Vegas Elvis. Can't be anything but that. And something else here. NGC 1977. 1977 was the year Elvis permanently left the building
Yes,
and was returned to sender. So
Wow.
this definitely must be the Elvis Nebula, Vegas
I like it.
Elvis.
new name, perfect.
I like it. That's awesome.
So we'll move up a little higher now into the belt. And all these stars in around the belt, you get the three bright ones there, but there are all these other stars in here. And that's another star cluster. Let's call under 70. Right, now, what I like in here is a little asterism within the cluster. And you see this curve down here? This is Orion's S.
Yep.
You can see that shows up better in binoculars because a lot of these stars you don't see.
Yes, right.
That's Orion's S, and you can see Orion's S is peaking above his belt. So he was a crack plumber as well as a hunter. Now, I'd asked mentioned that to my nephew one time, who was a plumber, and he said, actually, plumbers say that it's the electricians at the butt of that joke.
Or
Okay.
irrigation guys.
Now, if you go up, want to go ahead and look at these things, I'm not urging you to go out very, very soon to do it, but you got some time. But eventually, in 12,000 years, this is how we'll see Orion. This is due to the precession of the equinox, right? So Earth's rotation axis wobbles at approximately 25,800 years. Right? So in 12,000 years, Vega will be the North Star. So you picture, and Orion's on the opposite side of the North Pole from Vega. So you picture grabbing Vega, pulling it up to where Polaris is now. That's going to drop Orion down like that. And the seasons will be different in 12,000 years. All right, so Orion will be, our calendar, the Gregorian calendar, is set to keep Easter right around March 21st. All right, so all the constellations are going through different seasons very slowly. So we will have Orion in our sky in the summertime, but not very high. And for our here at about 45-degree latitude, the Orion Nebula will be down below the horizon. So we'd have to get down in the states of the southern states to see that.
Now, my question would be, will Betelgeuse still be there in 12,000 years?
Well, I'd see the about 88% chance, yes.
Yeah.
Making these numbers up, but they say sometime in the next 100,000 years, that'll probably be a supernova. So we can take bets on it, Mike, if you want.
Sure.
All right. If it goes beforehand, then I'll pay for your trip down to the States to see M41.
Sounds good.
42, pardon me. All right, now this gives me some thoughts here about Orion being the giant walking through the seas and the water only coming up to there. So we'll see him, pretending that's the shoreline, we'll just see him coming up a bit and wading through the trees here like that. So maybe something like that, part of that old mythology came from something like this thousands of years ago. And we move up from the belt. Okay, here's Alnitak. Now here's your Telrad circles here. This is 1/2 degree, 2 degrees, and 4 degrees across. Now there's M78 is the brightest reflection nebula. So to get that from a dark sky, you can get it with binoculars. I think I might have got it from my backyard in suburban here with bigger binoculars, maybe once or twice, but not very often. But if you come up in a beeline from Alnitak up toward Betelgeuse, you come up just over the 2 degrees, maybe 2.5 degrees, and hang a left. That put you into the area for M78. You can pick it up there. And we got one more pickup here. Go the other way. Okay, here's the shield. All right, so the two up here at the end of the shield, they make a pretty much an equilateral triangle with NGC 1662. Now, I saw this in the Sky and Telescope magazine 15 years or so ago in Sue French's column. And somebody had said this was the Klingon battle cruiser. So here's a picture of it. And here, you won't see this in binoculars, you'll see the cluster. You need the telescope to pick it up like this. So there's the 2 wings on it. You see how the wings sort of drop down. So they come down like that.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's
That's a neat one to check out. Now let's see what Orion looked like to other people around the world. So to the indigenous people of New Zealand, the Maori, and And they were an island like that, so they were out in the ocean there quite a bit. That was their livelihood. So this is the canoe of a guy named Tamaretti. Right, so there in this story, there were rules for which fish you could catch and which ones you couldn't. For the ones you couldn't catch or weren't supposed to catch, they were poisonous. So he was out fishing, and he'd be out fishing whenever Orion's in the sky. That's his canoe going across. And it's a long canoe. There's the Pleiades up there in the prow of the canoe. And as they get toward dawn, that was the canoe coming in to land on the shore. And he came in one time with a load of fish, and some of them were those forbidden fish. He had a meal out of that, and he died from poisoning from the fish. And so that's up there as a lesson to all the people that respect those rules and don't go catching and eating those forbidden fish. Now in Egypt, Osiris was the god of light. His brother Seth was the god of darkness. And Seth killed his brother and actually cut him up into pieces. But his wife and his sister, by the way, same person, Isis, got all the pieces back together and sort of mummified him, and put him on this boat. So he's got the boat going down the Nile, and then it'll go up the Milky Way in the sky, so he can go up where the souls all go like that. And some other people in Egypt looked at that as Horus, who was the more or less the rising sun, and he would be taking the boat across the sky at night. In India, Hindus looked on this as Vishnu. He was the preserver of the cosmos. Looks a lot like Orion there, and there's his bow. He traded that for the lion skin. In central North Canada, the Ojibwe. Here's the winter maker. Right, this one's on Stellarium. I think this one is as well. So the winter maker is quite big. Over here is Procyon and Canis Minor. That's in his right hand. Here's Aldebaran up here in his left hand. Right, so Betelgeuse and Bellatrix here in the shoulders, and there's the belt. So whenever he starts to appear in the sky in the evening, he's bringing the winter with him. Everybody, I imagine, looks forward to seeing that come. The other one up here, there's the Pleiades up in here. Just an added bonus to this. They call that the hole in the sky. Right, so when people died, they went up through the Pleiades into the hole to up and live with the star people. In Brazil, they saw it as a caiman, an alligator, in the rivers. And here's Djibouti the turtle. And in other parts of Brazil, they saw that. Right? I had to put that in there for my daughter who loves turtles. In fact, now she's a professional turtle lover. Works with the Sea Turtle Network.
Not a fan of turtle soup, I suppose.
Not a bit, although she has been known to eat the chocolate turtles.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, here's another one from there, Silikawai. He was the great man, and they only show part of him here. Actually, his head comes up to here. The Pleiades forms his head, right, and the Hyades are his shoulders, right. And he got into an argument with his wife one time, and she cut off his lower left leg at the knee. And there's Betelgeuse there. That's the blood coming out of the stump, that red star. And his other ankle over here is Orion's belt. And down below that, there's below Orion here where Rigel is. This was seen as a footstool. This is in Brazil, but also the Arabs had seen that as a footstool. So you get some things that are seeing the same thing in vast different places of the world. Now, another Hindu one was Labdaka, the deer slayer. Now, in this one, sort of an odd story. This is a man and he has a daughter. And he had some very unhealthy feelings for his daughter. She was a free spirit, so she would often change herself into an antelope and scamper off. He was chasing after her, so he changed himself into a deer to go after her and try to catch her. But seeing down here, here's in Canis Major, this is where Labdaka is, the deer slayer. And there's his bow. This is Sirius here. So he's shooting an arrow. The arrow is Orion's belt, and he hits the deer, and the deer gets pinned up into the sky here, where Betelgeuse and Bellatrix are.
Yes, sir.
This is how I see the sky around there. You got a mighty hunter. Of course, the second most famous hunter is the Elmer. And down here is Lepus. And we talked about this, and you guys talked about this one 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
All right, what's the name of this guy?
Oh, we forgot.
No,
They
that's
must be typing that in.
Chester.
Chester,
that's
you get it.
Spike
Chester.
and Chester.
Yeah, Spike and Chester.
Yeah.
And up here's Gemini, the twins.
Tweedledum, yeah.
Tweedledee. And here's Taurus in here. Remember the Bugs Bunny being the bullfighter.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
And this one is correct, celestially correct, because up here we have Mars.
Yes, right.
Here it is, December 11th, so Christmas is 2 weeks away. So this is how I look at Orion this time of year. So there's his lion skin toy sack. So instead of Betelgeuse, which roughly translate from Arabic as armpit of the giant, that's Santa's red nose. There's Santa's hat that we were talking about before we went on air.
Yeah.
And there's his belt up in here. And in here, that's Santa's big fat belly. And I'm not even going to guess what Orion's sword is there. And so Santa's going to be doing his runs there and New Year's Eve or Christmas Eve. Unless he's really, really slow. Christmas Eve. So he needs a sleigh, and I think this fits the bill quite nicely here.
There you go.
There you go.
And this orange star here, he's only got 3 reindeer on there, but it looks like he's got Rudolph that was stuffed in the back as a backup.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's that.
Oh, wow. So many
That's
different
cool.
ways to look at that. And
Yeah.
most of them I've never seen, so that's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Awesome, Kurt.
A lot of those pictures came from this book, Patterns in the Sky, or New Patterns in the Sky,
Okay.
by Julius W. Stahl.
Is that a new book?
No, maybe in the, let's see what year is that. One I refer to a lot. It was 1961.
Wow.
Another one I use a lot is, this one is over 100 years old. And it's excellent. Star-Lord, Myths, Legends, and Facts by William Tyler Olcott.
Well, that's a
And
good
you
shape
can
for
buy-
a 100-year-old book.
Yeah, it's from 1912. Well, yeah, it's hardly been used.
Yeah, the pages aren't even yellow. That's
It
fantastic.
might have been the first paperback.
That's
Oh,
awesome.
man, that's awesome.
What a nice entry into our constellation of the month. That's perfect. And it's such a nice constellation to enjoy too, right this time.
Yeah.
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 There's
Yeah,
one
it's
big one
it's
going
kind of
outside.
like the Cygnus of the winter.
The what? We're not talking Cygnus this time of year, sorry. Thank you, Kurt, for
You're
that.
welcome.
That's awesome.
My pleasure.
Great storytelling there as well. And no, it's awesome. I knew you'd do an amazing job.
Well, it just makes you
Over the
look
next
at it
one.
so differently when you look at it in the form of story rather than just the names of the stars, because it's a lot more interesting, right?
Yeah. So when I look at the sky, I'm picturing the pictures that are in the star maps. It helps in. It's useful to know that too. So if somebody tells you, okay, there might be a comet up here and say in the arm of Orion. So you can picture that where the arm is, and you can look for the comet in there.
I like the way that you flipped them around backwards, that some of them were saying that there was a view from the gods. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, it's Grand Central Station in New York City. They've got a star map up on the ceiling there, and they were reversed like that.
Oh,
Wow.
really? Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Wow. Amazing.
Yeah.
Great stuff. So what's next month's talk? We'll keep it a surprise.
You surprised me too. I know what it's going to be, but
Okay. Not Cygnus, right?
nope.
Okay.
No.
See you in summer. Thank you very much, Kurt. Thank you very much for that.
My
Awesome.
pleasure.
Okay, let's go on into Vinyl Bud.
I know, bud.
Vinyl Bud, what do you got today this week?
Well, you should be coming up there.
He's up.
Yep.
A little bit of a change up here. Binocular target of the week by Bud Bud this week is Packins 3 or Powell's -3. And I'll show you how. In binoculars, looks more like a McDonald's M rather than the number 3. But look closer and to the left of the 3 when you find it, and you'll see the minus sign, thus Powell's -3. Although Cirrus is the pointer star to this object, it's actually in, here we go, Monoceros.
Cheryl?
It was discovered by Canadian Randy Packin. The size is about the same as the full moon, so binoculars with a bit of magnification are best. And usually 15 to 18 power would be just right. So how do I find it in the sky? If you went out at 11 o'clock tonight and oriented yourself 130 degrees east southeast and look up, you see Canis Major, there's Sirius, the bright star in the sky. Come over to his head of the doggy here and come straight up off of that star. So if you come down and do that line straight up, guess what? There's the number 3 right there. Look at that. You see it?
Yeah.
Yes.
A little closer look. When you come up, there's the number 3. And guess what? There's the minus sign. Now you got a -3. Here's a nice photograph of it. Beautiful number 3.
There's the minus
And
sign.
the minus sign right there. So you can choose which way you want to look at it, as a 3 or a -3, but in 10 by 50 binoculars, roughly, this is what it's going to look like. Pretty big target. It's about, maybe a moon in diameter. And if you add the minus sign, you got 2 moons in diameter. And here it is basically compared to the full moon. Right there, looks like it's about 2 moons wide. And of course, we have the SNAS astronaut training.
The other guy in the back of it.
That's binocular target of the week by Bino Bud.
Awesome, Mike. Thanks very much, buddy.
You
-3, huh? Okay,
3 or -3, you can choose.
you can
can
choose,
choose.
depending how good your binoculars are. All right, how about a Rosanna's fun fact? What she got? for
Yeah,
us?
all right. Just give me a centon or centaur to figure this out.
Okay.
I just got to get this working here. There we go. And I'll share my screen. There we go. And we're going to.
You're my hero. There you go, Kurt.
Yeah, and
I can
this.
tell you who. There it is.
There it is.
Rosanna's Fun Fact.
Hey! Well, welcome back, Rosanna. And another fun fact we have. And so let's just get right into it. So she says, hi, Paul. I'm sure you've been to more than one potluck gathering in your lifetimes. The fun fact is a little bit like that. And so many different things crossed my desk this week, all falling into a potluck of space items. First, this December marks the 50th anniversary of Apollo 17, the last mission of the Apollo flights. Now, let me just get my mouse working properly here. And in this picture is the crew of Apollo 17. In the back, from the left, Harrison Smith, lunar module pilot, and his first and only professional scientist to walk on the moon, Ron Evans, command module pilot, and one of 12 people who have flown to the moon without landing on it, and Commander Gene Cernan, the last person to walk on the moon. And this, of course, is a NASA image. The mission broke several records for this crewed space flight, including the longest crewed lunar landing mission, 12 days, 14 hours. Greatest distance from a space activity at any time, 7.6 kilometers or 4.7 miles. Longest total duration of lunar surface extravehicular activities, 22 hours and 4 minutes. Longest lunar sample return, approximately 115 kilograms or 254 pounds. And the longest time in lunar orbit, 6 days and 4 hours, and also the greatest number of lunar orbits. So these guys did a lot of stuff. So just a few hours ago, before writing this fun fact, a SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket with a payload including 2 lone lunar rovers, one from Japan and one from the United Arab Emirates, lifted off from the Launch Complex 40 at the Cape Canaveral Space Force Station in Florida. John Rayu, the Associated Press, that's where this image is from. So check it out. And she gives, there's actually a link, which I'll post up later. No matter how many times I watched this rocket launch, it always is thrilling. It's one article about this mission that statement appeared. So this is an article about this. Let's get this thing here. There we go. So the mission success would also be a milestone in space cooperation between Japan and the United States at a time when China is becoming increasingly competitive and rides on Russian rockets are no longer available in the wake of Russia's invasion on Ukraine. So bravo to the new space cooperatives. And again, recognize this. So what is that? NASA's Orion spacecraft has now returned on Earth as of 12:02 p.m. today, Eastern Standard Time. The spacecraft completed a return burn, which is not a second sunburn during your Florida vacation, whizzing about 127 kilometers or 79 miles above the lunar surface before harnessing the moon's gravity and accelerating back to Earth. So NASA's Artemis 1 moonship returned today, slamming into the upper atmosphere at more than 24,000 miles per hour and enduring a 5,000-degree re-entry inferno before settling to a picture-perfect splashdown in the Pacific Ocean to close out a 25-day, 1.4 million mile test flight to the moon and back. Descending under 3 huge parachutes, the unpiloted 9-ton Orion capsule gently hit the water at 200 miles west of Baja, California at 12:40 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 19 minutes after encountering the first traces of the discernible atmosphere at 76 miles up. So some days are sometimes potluck days. I don't know about you, but I always want to head to the dessert table first. Oh no, Karen baked a cake so dense that not even light can escape. And that is this week's
Rosetta's Fun Fact.
Yay!
Hey,
And a fun fact it is as usual. Fantastic.
awesome. Thank you once again, Rosanna.
She's so on
Thank
point with time because actually I just watched that on the news with that landing today, with that rocket coming back down to Earth, or the capsule rather.
Yeah, it was amazing. Now somebody has chat or not chat, but captions turned on. So maybe Kirk, could you check to see if it might have been you? Not sure how to find out, but
Me neither.
I'm not even. I
They're
know how to
gone
turn-
now.
It does say show captions on the bottom, but are they gone now? Yeah, it looks like they're gone.
They look like they're gone.
I think so.
Oh, there you go. For those people who can't hear us talk, that's a good thing. Maybe they can watch it.
No, maybe they are. No, they are still on. It looks like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It should be on.
And apparently it's freezing up on Facebook a number of times. So
Okay.
That didn't look like it from here, but anyway.
you can see the comments or no? Yeah,
Yeah.
you can see them out there, I guess. Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll continue.
Yes.
How about from there? We're going to go to a what's up talk. I guess that's me. What's up
What's
talk?
up?
Setback.
What's out there?
Let's get the screen loaded up here first.
You get that big tongue coming out of that guy and say, "What's up?"
Yeah. Okay. Oh. Oh, that's showing the slideshow, yes?
Yep.
It is, okay. All right, we get to where it is here. Okay, we haven't got a whole lot to here to show anyway. Oh, wrong screen now, isn't it? Let's switch presenters. Oh, there, how's that?
There you are.
There you
Okay, now, all right, what's up this week? Very little to really talk about because there wasn't a whole lot on Kurt's calendar and there wasn't a whole lot on Lisa's calendar. So I'm just going to bring up a few little things that I could pick up. So first of all, here's our sun as of yesterday, actually, but we can see that we're moving our way up to solar maximum in 2025. A lot more sunspots. Kurt mentioned to me before, how we determine, I guess, is that as the sunspots get closer to the equator, we're getting closer to maximum. Is that true, Kurt?
That's correct.
Hey, here we go. And there are more of them. What's happening with activity right now? Not a whole lot of solar flares, but they could happen at any time, of course. And lots of nice big size sunspots, though. And there's supposed to be a couple of big ones coming around the corner here shortly. So we'll keep an eye out for aurora, and of course, I'll keep you posted. All week long, Jupiter's Great Red Spot. Well, if you've never seen a red spot, if you have a telescope and haven't yet seen Jupiter's Great Red Spot, you'll have lots of opportunities this week. There'll be a chance on Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday evenings at the times noted in the image there. Jupiter's Great Red Spot is a persistent high-pressure region in the atmosphere of Jupiter, producing anticyclonic storm that is the largest in the solar system. Now located about 22 degrees south of Jupiter's equator, it produces wind speeds of more than 430 kilometers per hour and has existed for more than 350 years. A long time to have a storm. Looks like captions are still on. Okay. Next. We got next. Okay. Well, here's the big event, right? Wednesday, December the 14th, the Geminid meteor shower peaks. And Wednesday evening, we'll present the peak of the Geminid meteor shower, arguably the best meteor shower of the year. This shower typically displays up to 120 meteors per hour under dark skies. Now, this year's display will be hampered somewhat by the light of the bright third quarter moon, or waning gibbous moon, I guess, at that time. But moonrise won't take place until 10:47 p.m. Atlantic time, and the radiant in the constellation of Gemini, the place where the meteors seem to come from, up in this area here, should be placed well above the horizon by that time. So, 75 to 120 meters per hour in a dark sky site. So we might get an early peek at them. And then again, with the moon up in that part of the sky, it's going to be a little bit more difficult after, say, midnight. But hopefully we get some, and I think they're fairly bright as well. So, so how do you watch a meteor shower? Well, that's easy. No special equipment needed at all. You just dress warm. Try and find a spot away from city lights as possible. Bring along your favorite warm beverage, because you're going to get cool. Then sit back, be patient, enjoy the show. Now bring along a friend or a family member and have them watch half the sky while you watch the other half. This was a trick Kurt taught me. Then shout meteor when you see one. If you get clouds on that night, don't worry. The peak is just that. It's just the peak, the expected increased time. Now try for the night before and the night after the peak as well, and hoping you'll get clear skies. From there, we got Friday night. We have our third quarter moon on Friday morning. Sorry, at 4:56 a.m. Atlantic time. Our moon enters its third quarter phase. Now, during this phase of the moon cycle, our moon rises after midnight, and it's usually visible throughout the day. So you see that moon up in our daytime sky. That's the third quarter moon on its way to noon. And Saturday, we've got yet another opportunity for transit across the face of Jupiter. Little Isle, he's been showing off there quite a bit over the last month or so. Saturday evening, look to Jupiter as Little Isle and its shadow transit across a giant planet. Now, Io transits last from 1943 to 2156 Atlantic time, and then its shadow transits from 2104 to 2315 Atlantic time. And that's what's up this week. So let's hope we get some clear sky for the show.
Yes.
On Wednesday. I guess Tuesday, Wednesday, Kurt? Or like that?
Day either side of that would be maybe half the rate.
Right. Some had said that it was Tuesday was peak, and then others had said Wednesday, but I think in most places I've read it was Wednesday.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tuesday's weather might be better.
That's true. And the moon will be up a little earlier, though, won't it? Yeah. Okay.
Regardless.
Yeah.
Look, anyway.
That's right. Okay. Let's talk about the lunar challenge. Yeah. So we did have a number of, I'm going to bring up a few images that were shared with me because Mike had a contest going on, or had a challenge going on, I'll say, the last little while. And it was offering images or capturing a specific area of the moon
Do you want me to show that before we to finish
Yeah.
it off?
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
Throw it up here. We should show a big picture of the moon there.
We do see it, yes.
Awesome. So this is the last of the binocular moon crater challenge. Last week, I got you to find the Apennine mountain range. Easy to find, easy to see pretty much when you look at the moon. There's a nice shot close in, and man, that's an amazing spot to look
Beautiful.
at.
Yeah.
I know it's not a crater and it was a moon crater challenge, but I had to finish it off with this because it is so beautiful, man. It's just breathtaking. So
Yeah.
that was the end of our binocular moon crater challenge. Hope you enjoyed the challenge, and hey, keep looking. So
Kind of looks like it, Mike.
Yeah, they are yoga pants.
Okay, we gotta,
He's joining me here for the yoga.
so I got a draw here for the book 50 Things to See on the Moon. All the ones who had entered are here in this little bowl. And that's the book. And I'll contact the winner later on and we'll get a book sent to your house. That's John Reed's book, of course. John is an author out of Nova Scotia, has a number of books on the 50 things.
So do you want the Griswold drum roll?
Yes, give it to me. All right, I'll do the draw. Or here, maybe let Kurt do the draw. Kurt,
Gotta grab the
reach
disc.
up there.
Here, Kurt's got it.
Awesome.
you should be our guest. But there we go. Okay, and thank you. All right.
Drum
The
roll.
winner of the 50 Things to See on the Moon book is going to be Bridget Green. Hey,
Hey,
Bridget.
congratulations, Bridget.
That's awesome.
We're just sending an entry in every week as well, so that's great. Bridget, that'll be for you. Well, a newer one. This is mine. Not getting that one. I'll be in touch with you, Bridget, after the show, and we'll get one out to your location.
That's fantastic.
Great. Okay. That's our lunar challenge, and then I guess we get some photos to. Or Paul, how about your astrophotography?
Yeah, mine's gonna be quite brief.
Okay.
Last week we talked a little bit about starting out in astrophotography and the easiest way to get into it, and we had suggested do planets first for a lot of reasons, and then Mike and I got yakking a little bit earlier this evening, and we come up with a couple more reasons, but I'm going to show you something that's going to be a little only contrary to what we talked about. But we talked about two things, the advantages of shooting planets. The first one is if you have equipment that you have to drag outside to set up, to get it ready to go, to shoot a deep sky target, and then all of a sudden the cloud's over, it was just a waste of 20, 25, 30, 40 minutes, depending on how long you had to do it. But however, if you had 20 minutes of clear sky and you had your telescope out there, you can get yourself a whack of data from either the moon, the Mars, in the daytime, the sun, all of that stuff. You don't have to be in a dark sky. You can do it from the city if you live there. And if you still want to shoot planets and it's a full moon, you can still do it. So those are some of the reasons to do it. Plus it's quicker, except for one thing. And I just want to bring this up for those people who, because I don't want to discourage deep sky imaging, and there is a very efficient way to do it. And I'm just going to share my screen and show it to you. Just take me a second to show you. And it is called Hyperstar. And so what Hyperstar is, it's basically, it's a lens that goes on the front of a Schmidt-Cassegrain telescope, which most people have for planetary work. Most of the Schmidt-Cassegrain telescopes that are made today now have what they call fast star, which just simply means that on the front of the telescope, there's a facility where you can actually remove that secondary mirror, and then you pop in this Hyperstar in the place of it. The advantage of the Hyperstar is this, and once it's in place, it'll look like this. And then if you're going to take pictures with it, you got to attach a camera to it. So it's going to look like this. So it looks kind of funny where it's actually on the front of the telescope instead of on the back. And the reason that it's so fast is that the light path is so short. It goes through into that big glass thing you're seeing there, the corrector plate, hits the big mirror, and it bounces right straight into the camera through this lens. So it's very, very fast. It takes your f10 telescope, turns it into an f2.5 or an f2, depending on the telescope that you have. You can use this and get this hyperstar for even Smith Cassegrains as small as the C6, which is almost the smallest one they make. It's the smallest one they make that you can actually put a hyperstar on. You can actually take shots of Orion within 30 seconds. You can have a very, very pleasing picture of Orion. So that means to you that instead of setting up guiding like we talked about last week that you don't want to do, you don't need a German equatorial mount if you just want to take pictures of bright items quickly, because you can get images within seconds versus minutes with the other type of system because it's so efficient. So if it's deep sky that you want to do and you want a little bit more efficient, and this is Robert Reeves, by the way, this gentleman here is one of the gurus when it comes to lunar imaging. This guy's amazing. Check him out. But he also does other things. But anyway, this is what it would look like all set up on a telescope. This one happens to be a 14-inch. Most of us are going to have an 8 or smaller. So that's what it is. So for those people who want to do deep sky imaging, not spend a lot of time and not get into tracking, Hyperstar is available. And that's my astrophotography tip of the week.
Awesome, Paul. Thank you very much, sir. Great topic.
Yes.
Okay, how about we get to some photos and then we'll sign off for the show. Let me get a minute here and I'm going to get my photo folder open. I know I got it here somewhere. There, I think. And I'll put the notes up. Okay, now see if I can share my screen. Here. And then we'll try this, I think.
There you are.
Got a photo up? Hey, perfect.
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's start off with Matthew Dupre.
Yep.
Matthew says, I took these last night. The picture of the full disk of the moon was taken with a Canon T7i and the close-ups were taken with an ASI 224 through a Celestron 9.25. So let's take a look at a couple other ones. Oh, let's see, this is the problem. Can't get at that little arrow to change photos. Can I? Well, you guys are stuck in a way. Can I move it? I can move it. Oh, look at that. I can move it pretty. Perfect. Here, that's better.
There you go.
Here's image number 2
There you go. Yeah.
and image number 3
Yes, sir.
He's
and number
getting it nice
4.
and close. Beautiful.
Well done, Matthew.
He's getting some nice shots.
Yeah, absolutely.
And he included one of those as his submission for the photo for the moon contest coming up
Right on.
right now. I'm going to move from there to Carol Bean. Carol sent this one in, the Pleiades and the moon's glare. She says 1 second exposure.
Oh, very nice.
Wow.
That, eh? Yeah,
Nice capture.
beautiful cluster of that. Thanks, Carol. Renat, Back Bay on December the 8th, she said at 17:56 p.m. with her iPad. And 20 minutes earlier, she said, I got this.
Nice.
That's her later shot and the one before.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
It's a nice view.
Awesome, Renat. Thank you. And we go to Yvonne Ridiger from there. She says, hello, Chris. This is Yvonne Ridiger from Richmond Settlement. Sending you a picture of the moon and Jupiter taking a week ago or so in my backyard for entry to the contest. If you have an issue with the picture, let me know. Have a great day. Please do continue with your amazing content. There you go.
Awesome.
Very nice.
Thanks, Yvonne. I got these ones from a group called GoFundMe Events. It's a Facebook page. Hi, guys. These shots were taken in Fredericton during the Santa Claus Parade in Fredericton North. It was so clear and crisp that evening. And these come from the Inside Out Nature Center.
Wow.
I gotta love a nice crescent moon with our shine.
Yes, sir.
Well done. Thank you for those.
Yeah. Nice earth shine again.
Thank you for those. Okay, we're moving on to Charlie Goudreau now. Charlie sent these. Hi, Chris. Here are a few of my moon pics taken with a 6-inch Skywatcher, 1200 millimeter achromat refractor with an Olympus 6-inch refractor. Wow. Olympus 3.1 megapixel digital camera holding it up to the eyepiece.
Wow.
Very nice, eh?
We're holding it up to the eyepiece. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Lots of detail.
Yes,
Fantastic.
sir.
Thank you for those, Charlie. Okay, we'll put those in the contest as well. Jamie, she says, hi, Chris. I've included 2 moon photos, one for the moon contest and one for tonight's show. You can choose which one to show tonight. I'm going to show them both, of course.
Well, that's balanced perfectly on that
Hey,
pole.
wasn't that nice? Yeah.
Yeah.
How
That's
should
holding
get-
it up pretty good, isn't it?
How should
Yeah.
make that happen? I don't know. Crescent moon on top of the flagpole taken November the 26th with my iPhone 8 and a 96% waxing gibbous moon taken December the 5th with my iPhone 8 through a Skywatcher 200p Dob.
There you go.
Millimeter
Nice shot.
eyepiece.
The
They take
detail
nice-
on the Terminator,
Yeah, she does a nice job and really getting
fantastic.
some nice shots through that Dob. Of course, Kurt knows all about the Dobs. 8-inch Dob, yeah. That's Kurt's favorite. His go-to. Pardon the pun.
That and the Astro scan. I think he still likes that too.
I think so too.
You got one there that I
hmm?
want.
You're not gonna get it. Nope. All right. Bridget Green. Hey, Bridget's on here tonight. Hey, Bridget, she said, hey, Chris, I thought I'd share this photo of yesterday's waning gibbous moon taken on my iPhone. Happened to be in Fredericton on the waterfront in the morning, and the moon peeking around this lighthouse was beautiful.
Yes, sir.
But my
Yeah.
fingers were so cold that I could barely press the button to snap the picture.
Yeah.
But you
Yeah.
get it.
A
Bridget.
moment frozen in time.
That's what, yeah. Oh, wow. Thank you, Bridget. And next is up is Danielle Terrio. Danielle says, took this photo at Wiscasset, Maine in the morning,
Wow.
December the 8th.
Nice reflection, eh?
Beautiful.
Well done. Thank
That
you.
looks chilly too. Ugh.
That does. Thank you, Danielle. We'll put that one in the contest too. April Brooks. Now, she said, this may not be what exactly you're looking for the contest, but I had to share my painting I did myself. She said, who knows, maybe I might win something. I take care of my 91-year-old mother, and I definitely like to go out on my deck and stare up at the sky for my peace of mind, as well as enjoy painting. I like
Wow.
putting the moon in my pictures and drawing scenery long ago times.
That was cool.
That's
Very
really
nice.
nice. That's a nice painting. It's very dramatic.
Yeah, well done, April. Thanks for that.
Yeah.
You are entered. Good luck.
Oh, wow.
And we'll go
Well,
from
that's
there
nice.
to Robert Cadet. Yeah, Robert says, I know I said I wasn't going to enter the contest, but your email inspired me to get out a bit. That's great. He says, not my best work of the moon, but it's a seasonal picture of the community tree in St. George with the moon peeking through the branches, taken with a Galaxy S21 Ultra cell phone.
That's a
Wow.
cool picture. I think it's
A
done
cell
very
phone
well.
shot too, eh? Wow.
This
Yeah.
is the second one. Nicely done.
Neat.
Thanks,
Very
Robert.
nice.
Those are in the contest now. And finally, got one here from John Moutier. He just sent this along. And he's probably right.
Wonka.
We know, yeah,
Them and the power company people.
that's it too, yeah. If you'd like to send your photos in, we love to get them here. We love to display them. So please send them into SundayNightAstronomyShow@gmail.com, and we'll be happy to bring them up on our next broadcast. Thanks, everyone.
They were great.
Stop sharing. Yeah, they were. Okay, one final mention for the contest. Again, our contest closes on the 15th. I'm just going to bring up, I got a couple of minutes here, so I'll just quickly bring that up. Because I do want to make sure that we get more entries, because I've only got a few entries for under 12. And there are some pretty nice prizes here for under 12. And I'd like to see a lot more entries if we can. So I'm just going to quickly share the screen here. And bring up, now I'm on the wrong page again, aren't I? Probably. Right, show. From beginning, we'll flip that around. Yeah, this one. Oh, there we go. Okay. We're back up again?
Yeah.
Okay. So special astronomy by the Bay SNAS Shoot the Moon Christmas contest sponsored by Cliff Valley Astronomy. We're looking at contest rules. Our contest rules for age 12 and under. If you have a Cliff Valley Astronomy Star Party, draw what you think you might see in the telescope. I've got a couple a couple of aliens and Saturn and that kind of thing. So have the parents snap a photo of your drawing and send it into this address, astronomybythebay@gmail.com. I'm collecting all of them there. I've got a nice collection of over 12-year-olds, but I haven't got very many for under 12. So I'd really like to see that number grow. That should say 12 and over, should just say over 12. Capture new image of the moon with any device. Send your entries to the same address. There is no judging. All images are treated equally. Share the post for a second entry by Facebook post, and capture one of the planets for a third entry. So you've got Jupiter, Mars, Saturn, all in the sky right now. Venus and Mercury are going to join the evening sky very soon. So that gives you another opportunity for your third entry. Now, the deadline for the entries is midnight on Thursday, December the 15th. That's because the moon rises the last time before midnight on Thursday. So that's the cutoff date. Where are the planets right now? Well, there's your view looking southeast right now. You've got Jupiter, Saturn, and Mars all lined up. You can pick any one of them, or wait until the moon gets close to it, like a few people did with the moon and Jupiter, and they got 2 entries right away, easily. Just that easy. Can't make an easier contest. Prizes for those age 12 and under are here. We have a mint condition 50mm Celestron travel scope, approximate retail value of $100. You have a second mint condition 60mm travel scope, also valued at $100. From there, we have the grand prize is going to be a 2-hour private star party for up to 12 people with a value of $300. So Stefan Picard will set up a date that's suitable for everybody. It could be a birthday party or family gathering, doesn't really matter, along with the mint conditions 50mm travel scope as well. The total prize package for that is $400. It's a grand prize for 12 and under. Those over 12 years old, we have 2 copies of the 2023 RASC Observers Calendar, 2 of the Royal Astronomical Society of Canada's 2023 RASC calendars with beautiful night sky images, approximate retail value of $50. We have a Monopoly Space board game. Have fun with the family, enjoying all about space Monopoly game. One of these games is available to be won, approximate value of $30. The grand prize for those 12, I'll say over 12, a brand new Celestron Explorer LT 114 AZ Newtonian reflector telescope with star sense technology. That's being presented by Cliff Valley Astronomy and Astronomy Plus. Approximate retail value of the scope is $300. Brand spanking new. Total prize package of over $1,000. Everything together. Contest start. Well, it's already started. Ends on midnight on December the 15th. All entries must be sent to the same address, astronomybythebay@gmail.com. If they're all over the place, I can't gather them in one spot. It's not fair for everybody. So one spot, send them there. And special thanks, of course, to Stefan Picard of Cliff Valley Astronomy and the folks at Astronomy Plus for helping us put on this contest. And good luck, everybody. So let's make that happen. Let's get some more entries. And I'm going to put them all together as a collage on the final night. That'll be next week, actually. So we'll make our draws next week. So that's all I get to say about that. And let's wrap up our show, I guess. Okay, so next week's episode, we're going to be getting into a little bit of the spirit of Christmas, a little bit. We'll talk maybe a little bit about some last-minute gift ideas for the stargazer on your list too. So maybe binoculars, maybe a couple of special books. You know, what do you guys think that might be something they can still rush out and get and put in the stocking in time? Like all of us late guys that, go out the last day of Christmas Eve, buying things. Anyway. And we'll be announcing the winners of all the great prizes being offered by the contest. Stefan, the owner of Cliff Valley Astronomy, will be joining us next week here to make the draws. So there's still time to send your entries into astronomybythebay@gmail.com. The contest closes at midnight on December the 15th. So in closing tonight, we'd like to thank you once again for your continued support of our efforts here. Our special thanks goes out, of course, to our guest this evening, Kurt Nason. Thank you, Kurt.
Thanks,
All
Kurt.
great information. We hope to see you again in January. Forward to having that talk. And our special thanks also to Rosanna for her continued contributions to our program. Thank you, Rosanna. We really do appreciate it. We also hope that all of you who have joined us from Rogers enjoyed the program. Now, if you would like more information about the wonders of the night sky, you can find me at astronomybythebay.ca. Also, special thanks to all of you who share our program. We do appreciate that as well. Remember, we do love getting your photos, so send them into SundayNightAstronomyShow@gmail.com. We'll be happy to include them on our next broadcast. Now, if you have an idea for a future show, please let us know at the same address. And please let your friends and family know that we will be back here next Sunday night. Then we're going to take the 2-week break after that at 8 p.m. on YouTube and Facebook to edutain you on astronomy and the wonders of the night sky. So for now then, from Kurt, Mike, Paul, and myself, we wish you a safe week, everybody. Lots of clear skies. Let's hope for that nice meteor shower coming up. As we like to say, guys, open your eyes to view the skies and keep your scopes
Point it up.
Good night, everyone. And cue the music.